Consider him who endured from sinners such hostility against himself, so that you may not grow weary or faint-hearted. It is Wednesday, the 27th day of July, 2022, and it's time for the reading of our devotional thought for today. And once again, I'm encouraging you to take 5 minutes to set it aside from the hustle and bustle of life and to tune in, get focused in on what God might say to you through this short 5 minutes of devotional thought. And today's devotional thought is entitled, Consider Him. And the verse, Hebrews chapter 12, verse 3, which reads, Consider him who endured from sinners such hostility against himself, so that you may not grow weary or faint-hearted. That's Hebrews chapter 12, verse 3. And Pastor Alistair Begg writes, Have you ever been tempted to give up on your faith? Maybe during a rough week, you've considered your circumstances and thought, none of this is working to my benefit. It's time to forget about Christianity and to live as others live. In those moments, it's easy to look around and see our unbelieving friends, families, and co-workers living differently and more easily and seemingly having a great time. Envious glances allow doubt and disillusion to creep in and steal our resolves to stay on the straight and the narrow path. This was the experience of the psalmist Asaph. He had almost stumbled because he was envious of the arrogant when he saw the prosperity of the wicked, who were always at ease. Psalm 73, verses 2 and 3, and also verse 12. This, it appears, was also the experience of the Christian to whom the writer of Hebrews addressed himself. They had not yet had to shed blood in order to stand firm in the faith, Hebrews 12:4. But it was clear that the struggle against sin within and the struggle to withstand opposition from without were taking their toll. What should they do? Consider Jesus. The biblical antidote to faint-heartedness and weariness is to fix our eyes on Him who endured hostility, who endured the cross, in order to obtain the joy set before Him, Hebrews chapter 12, verse 2. At some point in our lives, all of us will face unjust sufferings in words, deeds, or circumstances, and we can admit that we don't want to take the dig in the rib and the spikes on the shins. All of us will face the reality that we have not yet defeated the sins that have struggled for years and years. All of us will face days when we don't want to be in the race, when we are tempted to give up and drop out. What should we do on those days? Hear God's word saying, Consider Him. Consider the life of Christ, what it was like and where it led. He opened the door to glory. Now we walk the path behind Him. Look at Jesus, who ran this race and is now seated at the right hand of the throne of God, Hebrews 12:2. Day by day, no matter whether the course runs uphill or the wind feels full against us, we considered Him and run with endurance the race that is set before us. And may we continue to run that race that's set before us. Whatever the circumstances of life is today, whether we feel it inwardly, outwardly, from the top, from the bottom, know this, that we can continue to run the race with endurance, and our focus must be Him. So consider Him. May He truly be our consideration every moment of this day, especially for those of you, my brothers and sisters, who are at the end of giving up. No giving up. We got to keep going. Look up. Consider Him. Well, that's our devotional thought for this 27th day of July, 2022. Clive Walsh here, encouraging you to read through the Bible in a year, and Psalms 43, 44, and 45, as well as the book of Acts, chapter 19, verses 1 through 20, our assignment for today, and may God richly bless His word to your heart. My name is Clive Walsh.